Nemuri Kayama, better known as the adult-only R-rated heroine, Midnight. Professional heroine with a great track record, a very playful and flirtatious person with an unpredictably serious and temperamental side. Intelligent, insightful, and eloquent. In addition to a too shady taste for acting quite suggestive with the students of the UA. Although also when the situation requires it, she is capable of leaving aside her lewd and obscene character. She is a strong and independent woman willing to fight and put her life on the front line during the Royal Rumble of heroes versus villains. What's up guys? I'm Mr. Botaku, the YouTuber with the weird voice, and let's talk about the life of Nemuri Kayama. Nemuri was born on March 9th under the sign of Pisces in Saitama Prefecture in Japan. From a young age she proved to be very analytical, always excelling in school because of her intelligence and beauty. On several occasions, modeling agencies contacted her to make her a world top model, and even during her youth she appeared in several commercials. However, Nemuri's dream was in another field, not so much in show business. Her dream was to become a sexy and strong professional heroine. At the age of 5 she activated her cozy eye. She realized it because she once put her whole class to sleep at school. Her Nemuriga, or sleepwalker quirk, allows her to put people to sleep within a range of distance by exuding her sweet body scent. This scent resembles a kind of pink mist, causing a deep sleep. Nemuri is able to spread her Nemuriga by having her skin exposed, hence the smallness of her heroine costumes. When the time came, Nemuri applied to the best technical college of heroism in the country. The UA, as in her previous schools, Nemuri was noticed, both for her bright personality and for her rebelliousness and scholastic performance. When she moved on to third year, she began her professional internship at the Purple Revolution Agency, being apprenticed to Her Purple Highness. It was also in this year that she met and became close friends with 3 peculiar second-year boys. It all started one day when Nemuri was on her way to school after finishing her practice day. She used to move over the rooftops, especially the school rooftops. That was her favorite place. There she met 3 enthusiastic students, Aizawa Shota, Yamada Hizashi, and Shirakumo Oboro, who were having lunch. As their superior, Nemuri reminds them that roofs are forbidden for students. However, although it looked like he was going to admonish them, he actually praised them for their rebellious attitudes. The boys are surprised to see that womanizer. Aizawa asked her about her hero costume, as it was too revealing, to the point that she appeared to be totally naked. Although she knew that her costume would be scorned and questioned, she told them that it was bold but practical, as it supported both her quirk and her movements, and that she was not ashamed to wear it. In fact, she was convinced that it would change the opinion of the Japanese within a year. Little did she know that soon, her costume would lead the government to introduce the Hero Costume Skin Exposure Limitation Act. No dude! Oppressive male chauvinist Japan. Nemuri stopped talking about herself and saw a cute kitten being held by Aizawa. Oboro explained that he and Shota were taking care of it. Nemuri mentions that you can't have pets at school, then asks for the Michi's name, and since she didn't have one yet, she decided to name it Sushi after asking the boys what their favorite food was. She said she would keep the kitten temporarily until the trio found him a suitable home, because she planned to leave home after graduation and therefore would not be anywhere to take care of him. Then, he left the roof with the kitten and Oboro said he would end up staying with him. Fun fact: Oboro had feelings for Nemuri. Eventually Nemuri was joining this little group of friends more and more. She invited them to intern at her Purple Highness agency, forming Team Purple Revolution. The boys were always fantasizing about founding their own agency. Nemuri always looked at them with admiration and pride at the same time. She was like their big sister. Oboro well-launched invites Nemuri, but our girl declines the proposal as she already had other plans. Shirakumo the flirt tells her that he wouldn't mind waiting for her and then gives her his classic glasses. After this, Hizashi leaves to another agency where he was working while Shirakumo, Aizawa, and Nemuri continued with his Purple Highness. One afternoon while on patrol, they run into a villain known as Garvey, causing great destruction in the city. Nemuri and his Purple Highness witnessed how the Buster Union team of heroes tried to stop him, but the villain easily defeated them. Midnight informed her boss about the villain's criminal record and his quirk. She was really worried, because the data did not indicate that Garvey had as much destructive capability as he was demonstrating at the moment. Mr. Purple ordered Midnight to call for reinforcements and help evacuate the area while he confronts the villain to buy time. His Purple Highness, Shota and Oboro together confronted the villain to protect a group of kindergarten children. In the end, Aizawa was able to defeat the villain single-handedly, demonstrating his true potential. But the victory came at a high price. The Purple Lord had to be urgently hospitalized. Nemuri and Aizawa stood transfixed watching a mangled body. That afternoon Shirakumo Oboro died sacrificing himself to save those kindergarten kids. If it wasn't for him, the children would have died under the rubble. Nemuri could not help but cry for his death, while holding the glasses he had given her. Oboro really was in love with her and hoped to start a family with her. Aizawa and Hizashi stood on the spot in the rain mourning their dear friend. After Oboro's death, Nemuri continued attending UA until she finally graduated with honors, became a pro hero and continued working at the Purple Agency for a considerable time. Until he decided to become an entrepreneur, he founded his own agency with his own cronies, known as the Midnight Boys, the Midnight Simps. This agency lasted several years, during which Midnight became involved in a series of events provoked by a criminal organization known as Villain Factory, a criminal organization responsible for trafficking Trigger, a drug that boosts quirk but turns its users into violent zombie villains. One day, one of Factory's agents, Kin Hachisuka, uses his Queen Bee quirk to inject Trigger into innocent civilians, causing an instant outbreak of villains. Detective Naomasa calls for reinforcements. Nemuri and other heroes immediately show up and quickly suppress the outbreak. Nemuri and his old friends Aizawa, the rebel Shota, and Hizashi, the Screamer Yamada, along with the Midnight Boys, work with Endeavor, the Vigilantes, and a host of heroes to dismantle the villains' cartel. Midnight performed all kinds of missions, especially infiltrating, playing undercover agent to put the enemy to sleep and end the fight without a fight, helping Naruhata's vigilantes, specifically protecting Kazuho and assisting Detective Naomasa. Midnight constantly scolded Aizawa for his posture or his attire or for being a slacker. Aizawa would tease her by telling her that she should be a teacher if she likes instructing so much. And so she did, eventually disbanding her agency, though the Midnight Boys are always there for her. Midnight became a renowned top heroine, achieved all kinds of accomplishments, helped dismantle major and dangerous criminal organizations, and put away powerful villains. Finally, and despite being still young, she ended up teaching at her alma mater, instructing the heroes of the future at the UA. At the academy, although she seems to have a bit of a shady attitude with the students, Midnight is actually a very good teacher. Like All Might and Shota Aizawa, she also believed in her students and their abilities, recognizing that they all have what it takes to become great heroes in the future. And not to be a spoiler, but even in her most difficult moments, she encouraged her students to keep going no matter what. Midnight is a bit of a true skis heroine. She enjoys tormenting her opponents, which makes her a terrifying adversary to face. However, her sadistic side was also a weakness, as an enemy could exploit it to make her act less rationally. This was demonstrated when Minoru deliberately ran away from her scared to lure her to come after him, giving him a successful chance to catch her and pass the exam. Although she is a secondary character, Nemuri is extremely important to the anime. She is that character who is in charge of tying certain pieces together so that everything goes as it should. Thanks to her, Aizawa decides to start his career as a sensei. Thanks to her, several events conclude in a positive way, in spite of the great costs. From her youth, she was someone who strongly embraced her risky side, sticking to her ideas and concepts of being open in every aspect. This provocative heroine sticks to her ideals and truly believes in them and lives with the consequences of being so openly provocative. It is something of great value, especially in Japanese society, where women who act inappropriately tend to have a lot of difficulty getting into relationships, as men in Japanese society have a standard for a pure person. Clearly, Midnight discards many of these traditions in her daily life and prefers to be a free and bright being. Fun fact, Nemuri was originally intended to be the head teacher of Class 1A, but Horikoshi changed his mind and ended up assigning our beloved Daddy Caterpillar. Nemuri Kayama, a brave heroine who will be important in future seasons, whose fate looks a bit tragic. But well, thank you very much for getting to this point of the video. Thanks for the support. I love you very much. Tell me in the comments what you think of this beautiful character. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and see you in a future video. Bye.